Welcome, friends, foes, and everyone in between. Today we have the Woodlands Tigers versus myfoodtrailer.com. Just so you know, this is an abbreviated commentary session. As you can see, the game has already started. This is going to be including some coaching for the Woodlands Tigers, as this season is more about trying some new things out and getting to know some new players. But hopefully we can still provide you with some entertainment as the game gets underway. It's myfoodtrailer.com. We're going to call them MFT. Maintain pretty good possession here to start.
Yeah, our shape looks really good already, or so far. Keeping the ball wide, keeping it out of our box, and giving up the load percentage chances.
Right. Forcing them wide. MFT here with the ball again. Trying to get one in the middle. In the Tigers' shape there, doing well to just keep them from moving forward as we win the ball off of them. This ball travels out to Jose, who's going to see Fernando on the far side.
Good swing there.
He tries a nice little ball, and Mike's through on goal. He's going to have a shot, and that's going to skirt just by the far post. Early signs from the Tigers showing they mean business. Nearly slotting one home to open the score sheet for the Tigers' new season. The big man up top. MFT sliding a good ball through. As Chris tries to put a ball through to Mike, a blatant handball, and the ref is going to play advantage to Mike to try to take that down out of the air while facing the wrong direction and get a shot off. I'm not sure what the advantage was there over a free kick. But, you know, I guess we don't see what she sees.
I effectively stopped playing because I thought we were going to get the call there. I was like, I'd rather take the free kick there than try and turn this guy. But I don't love that when we realized we didn't get the call, Jose just tried to send it back up top. The attempt aside, I feel like we already had them pressed into their half. Maintaining possession would have been the better move there.
Joel's going to lay this out to Jose, who looks for a ball through the middle. It's going to get picked off, and a dangerous chance for MFT there.
And this is a situation of being out of position. Fernando didn't get back to his role. Chris went wide, and we just weren't on the same page. Jose was trying to get rid of the ball there. Maybe moving a little bit too quickly, but ultimately that came from a lack of being in our spot, letting our exhaustion get to us.
Mike with a lovely touch off a ball, and it's going to go off the post. And an absolute in the back shove from MFT, and the ref again is not going to call it. I know, Mike, you talked to this ref at halftime to kind of get the scoop on what was going down here. And Chris gets his leg sandwiched by two people, and he's going to get called for the foul. This refereeing feels a little lopsided at the moment, if you want to enlighten us.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with her after this and a few other instances. I didn't know why I didn't get the call. She said that she felt like the keeper had more right to it, essentially, and that he was going to win it. And so I shouldn't have gotten the call because even though I was fouled, or even if and she felt like it was more of a shoulder-to-shoulder. Either way, I still feel like that was a missed call. And then the fact that for some reason you got the call there, even though they sandwiched you, I guess because the guy stayed on the ground and you played through it. She tried to say that we were the fitter team, and I was just, we worked to be fit. We worked to be the fitter, stronger team. We shouldn't be penalized for that.
And it's a bit odd because we've seen good performances from this referee actually in the previous season that we played at Bear Branch.
I was really excited to have her in this league and also reffing our first game. I was like, great, we're going to have some good refereeing, and it wasn't the case.
Fernando looking to be unleashed by Joel, but he's not going to make it to that one, as it's just going to trickle out for an MFT throw-in. Maybe a little bit too excited to try to get the ball going on a counterattack. But when you take a look at that, maybe the decision needed to be to hold on to slow the play down, as Fernando was kind of all by himself running forward.
That's one thing that we lack, the Tigers. The Tigers lack is moving as a unit, supporting each other. And we go into traps very easily. Whether that is great save there.
Great save by Joel. Good movement from MFT as they kind of cut through the defense.
And then this, why the long ball? Why the long ball? Like, we don't have to try and get a break. I'm up there with 3 defenders. Just hold the ball. Let's maintain possession, because you'll see later in the game, we get exhausted chasing some of this stuff down and constantly defending. Whereas we can take breaks much easier if we stand on the ball and find our guys and just keep it, even if it's in our own half or at the top of the half, whatever. Maintaining possession is the move. Always thinking, I am 3 steps away from being open and then giving the ball right back.
And for the maintaining of possession, to any of the Tigers teammates listening, the moment you see an open pass, hit the open pass. You don't necessarily have to feel pressure. The pass just needs to happen and the ball needs to keep moving so the other team can never adjust to it.
Right here, swing. Carlos is wide open. Move their players around.
I think that's
Don't force
Danny
it
at the moment.
Oh, okay. Either way, there was another defender wide open. We could force it, or we don't have to force it, and we can keep possession and knock it around and catch our breath. All of it.
I do want to say that was a good stuff there from Danny on that shot. Unfortunate to fall back to MFT, but they didn't capitalize on that opportunity, as it's going to go out for a Tigers goal kick.
And earlier there was Joel had his miss hit on the goal kick. Kudos to Pedro. Like, it's not all bad. Kudos to Pedro for still winning that ball and maintaining possession there, but.
Ball down in the corner. Pedro a little locked in. It's going to give the ball up here.
So that was a good example of what I talk about when I say we run to traps too often. The sideline, the baseline, they're extra defenders, and then you have 2 defenders inside. Put a foot on the ball, turn, and find a drop, so that way you're not separated from the rest of the team, and you don't have the ball taken from you.
And here, this pass was a little too speculative. Maybe should have tried to keep that a little more simple. So Chris is going to get the ball here in the middle. He's going to get some eyes for goal. Maybe should have found John there on the side. Should have picked my head up. And
I don't know where the foul was there. I don't know. I just don't get it.
I'm not sure, but at this point, I think she told me I needed to calm down. You guys watching the tape can tell me where my excessive issues were, but I was feeling very targeted at this point. Danny does well to force a poor shot out of their big man up here on the right. And Joel's going to find Fernando, probably where Jose should have been, and now we are all out of position. And we're going to launch the ball through to the goalkeeper. In that moment, we need to start calming down on goal kicks and possession out of the box and just let our players get into position before we try to hit that quick counterattack. As Pedro's here with some good possession up top. John with a nice little flick. Pedro's not going to try to jump on that, maybe looking for a different pass. And MFT is going to be on a quick counter here. And John doing so well to get back, and Danny getting a foot in there. Well, I can't tell if that was Danny or John. Pedro up top again. Chris with the second shot of the game. Poor shot, really, in the end. Not a lot of options going forward. And just trying to get that foot warmed up, warmer than it already was outside, because it was probably 100+ degrees on that turf. MFT here, going to bring the ball out of the back. Looking to switch the play. And that's going to be very overhit. But he does well to get on the end of it. He's ultimately going to give up a throw to the Tigers. So Albert gets this down in the middle. And a nice little simple interchange there between Albert and Chris. That's kind of what I was referring to as you see the pass, make the pass. We ended up getting a shot off of it. John had a pretty good attempt on target. Just maybe a little too straight down the middle, but you don't hate shots on target. Jose does really well to cut that one out. He was in pretty much the perfect position. Just kind of ran out of space there. Maybe tried to do too much. Carlos doing some tenacious defending. Carlos and Danny are two of our new guys on the roster for this season. And in this moment, we have some issues. I think Albert needed to get a little wider. And again, we're just trying to play over top. The idea isn't terrible from Carlos, but you have to understand how to work within this system, and that doesn't work within this system, unfortunately. We're just having trouble finding the passes through the middle and just keeping it simple. MFT put a decent ball in, but Joel always quick, always alert to that ball in. And Jose, just another long ball over through. Pedro's not going to be able to get on the end of that, not on this short field.
I want to say that was the 5th long ball so far, 13 minutes in. The field is hard. We need to get used to that.
And John's going to get absolutely get his legs swept out from under him. And I'm not sure what the call is here, because she acknowledged that it was a foul. But I think she said something along the lines of John wouldn't have got to that. But he would have got to it if he didn't get his foot kicked into the ball so hard. Absolutely another foul, and the Tigers are just getting snubbed this half. Pedro's going to get on the end of this. Have a first-time shot. Good save from the keeper there. Good shot from Pedro.
Great shot from Pedro. Good supporting run from Albert, too. The back post. He was practicing what he preaches. He was following up the shot.
Yeah.
If that keeper would have spilled it, he would have got there.
Yep.
I mean, the keeper did spill it, but he spilled it. He spilled it well the opposite direction.
Right.
Parried it. John has put in a shift here. He's visibly exhausted.
But doing well to always be in position. If you're playing wide on midfield, I would go through at least the last half of the season, if not the whole season previous, and just watch where John puts himself. He's generally great with his positioning. And the way the Tigers are playing right now are essentially nullifying the central midfield position.
Don't necessarily love that decision from John.
Yeah,
he wins those sometimes, but the drop towards the middle to you, I remember seeing that in real time, and I was like, okay, drop it to Chris. Okay, we're going that way. Cool.
I will cut him a little slack. From my angle where I was, I could see that pass was a little tight. So, if anything, I'm glad he didn't just cut it back to the middle to them and brought it down the line.
That's fair.
But this is just, I mean, everyone was having trouble just focusing and getting into the flow of the game. I know John wasn't feeling well today. And I've given up another foul somehow.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't have a yellow card at least.
Yeah, I will say this one, I did catch him. I caught his toe, stepped on it a little bit. Nothing malicious. And MFT is just going to go ahead and waste that free kick. Ball's going to come out here to Jose, who gets a nice ball into myself with a good ball through to Fernando, who tries to cut around and has a decent shot there. It's going to go wide right. But good signs, and you can kind of see what happens when we play through the middle and we're able to switch the point of attack instead of just playing over the top. Chris gets a bit of a foot on that, and then Fernando does well to get a foot on that as well.
I will say our center backs cut out a lot of dangerous passes very well this game. I think that's like the third or fourth from Jose right there.
Carlos with a wonderful bit of control here. Finding Fernando.
Good maintenance there, and then good following that up from Carlos to help assist with the attack.
This is a great bit of passing here. And Albert almost makes the best of that situation. It was a really good through ball or a cross from Fernando, but maybe should have been a simpler pass as Pedro and Chris were available. Probably could have found Albert with a little bit of a easier pass to control. It's all just decision making at this point, whether or not it's the execution. It's all just decision making that's causing problems for the guys in green.
We're not even bad at this point. Our defense is playing very well. Where our system defensively is working. Getting forward though has been a challenge. Like hero ball right here. It was just, we don't need to go and take on three guys down the sideline. Just bring it back, rotate it, and maintain possession to get a better chance.
Yeah, it feels like everyone's trying to make a big impact on the game instead of realizing that making an impact on the game is when we keep things simple and we move things around. It's almost a situation of, we need to start playing for the badge on the front of the shirt rather than the name on the back. Good defense there from Fernando.
Surprised that wasn't a foul.
Does well to hold on to it. He's going to get a shot off. I'm never going to get upset with that. That was actually a really good counterattack there from Fernando to win that ball off and get a dangerous chance going.
I'm going to be a little bit nitpicky here. When in the moment, I thought for sure he was going to take that wide and shoot it with his left. And it just looked so uncomfortable the way he tried to get it to his right to get a shot. I don't know if he's just particularly uncomfortable with his right or with his left rather, but would have liked him to just have the attempt with the left. But I know the feeling. I don't like to shoot with my left too often either. So another cutout from Carlos.
Ooh, lovely little bit of skill there. Just a bit overhit on that second one. And you can see the Tigers starting to get stretched out as that gap between the striker and the midfield is kind of opening up. Green doing it in an odd way, but managing to nullify an issue there, an attacking option.
Really love it when the opposing team stops playing because they think they should get a foul. The guy was in a pretty dangerous spot if he could get a foot to the ball. And instead, he just stopped playing thinking he should have gotten a foul.
That felt a bit sarcastic, but I do love it when the other team stops.
Yeah, no,
play.
That was not sarcasm.
Joel holds on to that one, looking to release Mike. Unfortunately, there's just very little support for him in that moment.
No, and this is another. No, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to say I tried to take it forward when I shouldn't have.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I should have put a foot on the ball like I've been asking, the other guys to do, and instead I tried to beat my guy in our own half. It wasn't smart. I should have stopped the ball and maintained possession. So, absolutely on me as well. I don't want to seem like I'm just pointing out the flaws of others.
Here you can see Mike speaking with the referee, trying to get an understanding of what happened in that first half.
Ultimately, the game is still 0-0, and again, we played defensively well. But as you'll see, this is kind of where some of that breaks down.
Early on, we have a situation. I don't know if this was the plan going into the second half, but Fernando has kind of put himself at defense and pushed Carlos into the midfield. And just poor positioning defensively has led to a goal already, less than a minute into the second half from MFT.
Fernando, you're faster than that, right? If you rewind it, there was a lot of space between you and your mark. Get up on him if you're going to play defense.
This is a good teaching moment that defensively, the two defenders are not left and right defenders. You guys are center backs. So, if you're not marking anyone, you need to be pulling to the center and finding somebody to mark. You are never just marking space unless you are the only guy back there. And we don't play a sweeper at the back. So always be pushed in centrally and pushed up towards the back of the midfielders.
More warning signs here, though. Already another attempt on goal from the white team, from MFT. We gave the ball up in midfield, and they were instantly past our midfield. And again, another pass, errant pass, and they're into our half with another shot on goal, or another shot towards goal.
Yeah, and I'll eat some of the blame on that one. Just sitting way too far back. Really need to be up and pressing that situation. John tried to do something for me to recover from my lack of movement, but luckily that wasn't on target. Have to trust Joel in that situation though, from that distance. It's a great ball to John here. He's going to make a nice run down to the corner. Just a bit of a heavy touch here is going to find him locked in and giving up a goal kick to MFT. Ball moving forward. Carlos does well to get in front of that pass. This ball comes in, and the guy just leads with his studs, and again, just a non-call from the ref. A bit confusing. At some point, we have to protect the players on both sides of the field.
A little bit of communication from the back there would have gone a long way.
Joel finds Fernando, who finds Jose, and it's just kind of lopped forward as, to be fair, MFT, with the high press, makes something happen. And this was a good moment of Tigers defense. You could see very compact, the two defenders and myself sitting almost all of us inside the width of the 6-yard box. Just being very tight and forcing them to try to play a ball over the top. And here's a nice little simple pass, which is what we need, which allows John to switch the field, and now the point of attack is different.
And here,
and this ball, just does not need to happen.
Ill-advised, but ahead of that, it was our defense was assisting the attack in this position. Like, Fernando could have carried the ball a little bit more. Maybe you couldn't see it in the video. You know, I could have moved around. Midfield could have moved around a little bit more to take an easier pass. But when we just keep sending it forward like that, the easy passes don't show up because they know that it's just going to be sent forward.
And here's a moment of the defense sitting really, really deep, and they get a good opportunity. And when there's that giant gap between the midfield and the defense, that's where I'm saying if they aren't camping multiple people up top, we should not be sitting so deep. We need to be pushed up and high, play a high line. It's a short field. I trust everybody on our team to run with anybody else on this team. And if for some reason we can't keep up, I trust Joel because he's probably the best one-on-one keeper that I've ever seen. So we have to just start trusting the people behind us. And we're just out of position again, and they're going to put another one in. We're just not marking anyone at the back. We are marking zone and sitting way too deep, and it's causing problems.
So, Carlos, not saying this one was on you in the least, but at that midfield position, you need to shadow much further inside to align with our system and push them towards the corner flag. You kind of just let him make the cut there, and we want to shield that area that he cut to.
Right. The goal is to always make them play the ball down the sideline. Never let them pass the ball into the middle of the field. Let them play down the sideline all they want.
These goals are small. Don't let them get an easy cross in, but rather them have a cross in to the box from wide than a long shot in on goal.
We have probably one of the best Sunday League keepers to exist and we have to trust him to make those saves from those weird angles, being the human wall that he is.
Pedro, if you're going to be playing midfield, man, you got to get back here. I can't be below you. And if you can't get back, communicate. Mike, cover for me. I'll run to get into position, something like that. But you called your own number, get on the field and play it. Or call my number and get me off the field. If you feel like I'm lacking, call me off. Go get in the striker position. But we can't let our system fall apart because of exhaustion and not able to get back.
Yeah, this is a combo of shaking the rust off, fighting the heat, and just a lack of communication between everyone.
That's solid. That's a win for defense because we push them back.
This is good defense.
Shielding the inside there. Would have liked you a little bit further inside, but
you can see the passing lanes all covered as he puts that one right into my feet.
You won us that ball there for Pedro. Yes. Your positioning won us that ball.
That was perfect. And the counterattack was on for Mike and Chris. Just maybe took a weird bounce. Their guy got a good foot to the pass back. It's going to pop out for a corner.
Long throw. No, it's a corner. It's a corner.
Yeah. As this ball comes in, it's a little close to the end line, and you can't see it in this footage, but there is a concrete culvert between these two fields that is horrifying, that I would rather not sprint into with studs on. So I didn't try to do any diving header to keep that in bounds. MFT bring the ball forward here. And they find that gap. Joel does well to be there, but they're finding that gap between the midfield and the defense. As he's going to lay this out to Jose. Pulling myself wide. And this was poor. If you're playing at the back, you got to be alert and ready to go, running to everything. If a pass is passed to you, you got to go to it. The pass has got to be crisp.
Pedro, you got to get back to your spot, man.
If we're unsure about something, get the ball out. Just clear it out. Everyone was out of position on that one, and it shows. We get scored on when we're out of position, because being in position is what makes the system work. And now we are down 3-0 with 11 minutes to play. And MFT able to drive inside here. Jose does well to step on that, prevent any danger. And I will say, defensively, I liked that movement from Jose and Carlos. They weren't playing left and right. They were playing together as a unit defensively. And that's exactly what we need from those positions. This is another situation where the ref doesn't clear things up. We all thought it was a foul, and she said it was a throw. As this ball comes in, and you can see the fields were damaged pretty bad during the big floods that we had down here. Nice little chip over here to Pedro. He's going to try to make his way through, but not going to get on the end of that. But you can see all the black marks all over the field. Those are all the turf pellets that were all just strewn around when it flooded over all these fields. They were in rough shape. And we're down 3-0, and we're not pressing the keeper here.
Pedro, that's your job here.
We
You got to
need
go
to-
get that guy.
Well, we also need to press as a unit. We all need to be moving. And we're panicking and trying to play the ball forward. And Pedro actually does well to get to this. Again, I am unsure of what the ref is looking at. Albert's going to hop on it and does well to get the ball back to me with a nice little ball in. Just unable to find Fernando there as the keeper pounces on it. Good little bit of play, and you can see the power of the back pass creating an opportunity. And another moment of the defensive shape working there. And that pass just looked like it was built out of being tired. MFT again moving the ball around. Yes, great step there from Carlos. A good bit of movement for Fernando, but he had Pedro and Chris behind him. And then this ball out probably should have been a simple pass, a calm pass, as both Chris and Pedro had time. But it's just going to get cleared to their keeper for more MFT possession. Luckily, he makes a poor decision and just plays it right to Joel.
Pedro, you're out of position again, man. I don't know if you communicated with anybody to swap with them while on the field, but it looks like you might have. But right now it seems like we're playing without a forward. I don't really know what the formation is here, and I know you were exhausted. You did ask for a sub previously, so I think you were just trying to get back to help cover. But again, it throws the whole system off if we're just out of position.
Yeah, it's okay to recover up top. That's probably the best place to do it. And an opportunity. Might play some great defense on Chris. And MFT on a quick break. Danny does well to hound this guy and force him out of bounds. And then find himself on a quick counter. And a lovely ball into the middle. And finds Mike on a really good through ball, and the touch back was just a little too far ahead of myself to be something dangerous. But you can see the movement gets us into dangerous situations for the opponents when we take a beat, pass through the middle, and work our way forward rather than just trying to go.
I also think that MFT player, I don't know if he can see the future or not, but he seemed to read that play very well and knew what I was doing before I did it. So kudos to him.
This ball is going to come out to Danny, and Carlos is going to jump in on that pass that I believe was to me, but he couldn't know that. Mike does well to grab the ball here. Finds himself an opening. And we have a shot on target. We've registered another one. You can say wasteful. I don't think that's wasteful. It's on target. It's at the top of the 18. That's actually kind of the place you want to shoot from in 7-a-side.
Wasteful in that I just threw a foot at it and I didn't try and place it into the corners, and it went straight at the keeper.
I'm not sure what happened here, but we finally got a foul.
Yeah, it's weird. We get calls in our own half. We can't get a damn call in the middle of the field or forward.
When it doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly.
As well. We're cresting the 19th minute.
Another long ball.
Into the 20th. I like this ball from Danny. Trying to find Mike back. And the MFT guy does well to read that. maybe needed to be a little quicker from Mike, but at the same time, didn't hear anyone tell him man on as he's trying to slow the play down. And this guy's just going to, with no eyes for the ball, is just going to plow through Mike, and we get absolutely a PK, not nearly as bad as the foul in the first half that should have been a PK.
I appreciate Albert's intensity here.
Oh, for sure. He was ready. You could see he had some hot feet ready to go. And he's ready to get this game started again, as you will see in just a second, as we score a goal. And Albert decides he's going to take the kickoff.
They're like, what?
Oh, we love you, Albert.
Make it, take it. Playing make it, take it soccer, I guess.
And not a lot of time left now. It's just seeing the game out at a 3-1 scoreline. MFT is going to move the ball forward. And here I am marking 3 guys because our defenders, this is another situation where our defenders are sitting so deep where they don't need to be that they got a shot on target because there are 3 dudes available to pass around me.
Another long ball.
Yeah, we don't need those. We don't need those.
Ultimately, if I can say something, I know I was pretty critical in this commentary. We haven't lost a match in a season, at least. I think we lost in the playoffs 2 seasons ago, but I'm obviously frustrated. But I'll let Chris take it away.
Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button, and we'll try to win the next game. See y'all next week.